Hello, we're doing a video and this is part 1 of our One Block Skyblock Minecraft challenge.
Watch to see how in the first 35 days we took it from this one magical block to this.
For anyone who doesn't know, One Block Skyblock is a world where you start with only one block. The block regenerates every time you break it and it can spawn any block or mob.
There are 10 different biome phases to go through and we've heard you can beat the game after phase 10.
We'll make part 2 very soon. Let us know any tips in the comments.
With that out the way, let's break the block.
Again and again.
So day 0 we spent figuring out the game. We kept breaking the block over and over, which gave us blocks like dirt, wood and chests with the absolute best loot. We turned our wood into slabs because it gave us more floor space to work with.
5 minutes into the game, a pig spawned and we named him Jerry.
Gravel blocks kept dropping into the void as we mined them, so near the end of day 0 our overlords gifted us a water bucket in a chest. I went on an epic adventure to use the water and place a block underneath the magical block. This is my application to the Dream SMP. Hit me up, bro.
You did it, nice one. We were also gifted a second Jerry and we realised it was a bit crowded and they were going to need a place to live, so we set about building somewhere.
At this point it was day 1. We didn't have any of the food that the animals wanted, so we decided we'd build it anyway and push them in later.
We were gifted a cow and named her Beth. We realised that our dirt farm wouldn't grow grass by itself and we hoped to be granted a sheep so that we could craft a bed. Once sheared, the sheep needed to eat grass in order to grow their wool back. So we placed a dirt block next to the magical block when it spawned grass, and then we built a grass highway all the way to the farm.
Nice. After watching grass grow for a little bit, we went back to mining, and then we got a sheep, who we named Squanchy.
On day 2, we were gifted a second Beth, 2 chickens, which we named Summer and Summer 2. Summer 2 came first, obviously, and some seeds from a chest. So we made a small temporary farm. One of the Beths wandered over to the farm, so we penned them in and spent the rest of the day pushing animals across the bridge.
On day 3, a chest fell in love with us, and then we fell in love with it, because it gave us a grass block. We planted the grass block in the farm and destroyed the bridge. What a waste of time.
After we broke the loving chest, the phase was complete, and we entered phase 2, the underground.
Spooky! Day 3 was spent farming and planting saplings we got from the chests. We also added some fencing to make the base a little bit safer.
Right at the end of day 3, we were gifted an unlimited food supply, which we named Space Beth because of its dead, creepy eyes.
Our first angry mobs then spawned. We took them out, but Space Beth got caught in the crossfire. She lived to feed us another day.
Day 4 was spent adding more fences and farming for wood and food. We got into a fight with a spider and we forgot how swords work. No animals were harmed in the production of this video except the guys that got hurt.
By the end of day 4 we were running out of storage space, so we built a small platform to store our items and we'd also build our house on top of that.
By day 5, things were starting to take shape.
The rest of day 5 was just farming trees and replanting saplings. The storage area was just about done, and I think it looks pretty good.
We were quickly running out of wood, so we decided to expand the base so that we could build a tree farm with the saplings that we had.
This area would become the site of an epic battle, where many good men were lost. Actually, it was just one man. It was me. I died.
Day 6, we continued fencing off the base to make it safer, but we ran out of wood.
Halfway through day 6, we'd grown our first mega spruce tree, so wood was back on the menu.
We continued beautifying into the night until we ran out of resources, but as day 7 broke, we had like a structure that we were happy with.
On day 7, we stopped work on the house because we realised having your crops next to your animals is pretty unhygienic. So we built a separate crop farm. We only had one water source block that we were given at the start, so I went to collect it to put it in the farm, and I did this.
Bruh.
So instead of moving the crops and the water over, we had to either craft water or go back to mining the magical block and hope it gave us one. Our bad luck continued. It didn't. It did give us a creeper.
F's in the chat for Space Beth. Squanchy made it though.
After recovering from that incident, we made some shears from our limited iron and went to shave Squanchy so we could finally get some sleep. Sup Space Beth too.
This is how the base looked at the end of day 7. I think it looks alright. There's a creeper on the left there that we didn't see. Luckily it didn't grief us.
After a whole week of being awake, Steve finally got a good night's sleep.
Get wrecked, son.
The rest of day 8 was spent mining and fighting the mobs that spawned.
By this point we had a shield, so it was pretty easy. Before we knew it, we were at phase 3, Icy Tundra.
Unsurprisingly, this phase consisted of a lot of snow and ice.
Ice? Ice could also be water.
It could.
Why hasn't Dream contacted me yet? And a sidekick spawned in, so we called him Morty. We didn't have any bones yet, so he's going to be wild for the time being.
We did get some good ores, including some much sought after iron, and then this thing spawned, but Morty fought it like an absolute pro. Shoved it right off the edge. What a legend.
And then 2 more of the things spawned, and we didn't know what to do, but luckily Morty was there to help us. He took out one straight away. We fought the other one for a little bit, but then Morty came over and finished him off. Best sidekick ever. They even dropped some bones, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to tame Morty.
Day 9 and we were overrun with these fox things which kept stealing our blocks. But anyway, we turned our ice into water, went on another epic adventure, and set up our farm.
And then it was back to mining. So we continued mining, and then we got a chest which contained bones. Morty had already had 2 bones, so we thought another 2, we can probably tame him. We put him in the hotbar, and the hunt was on. Where is Morty? Oh god, where is Morty? Ah, brilliant, there he is. No, just another stupid fox. So, not gonna lie, I was playing at this point, I got my sword out. I was a little bit angry, but then Vanessa calmed me down, so we let him live another day.
We also fenced off the base, but we left a gap to be a killing platform, hoping that we'd be able to push mobs off. Had some good soup.
In the morning, we did some more mining and more killing mobs. The mobs were harder to kill without Morty. RIP bro. The killing platform was absolutely useless.
An absolute mammoth of a beast spawned, a polar bear. We called him Rick. He was in the way, so we politely persuaded, shoved him out the way.
Then 2 more of these guys spawned, and they both went for us and then turned on each other.
Kissing or fighting?
I think they were having a little kiss at one point, yeah.
You took the opportunity to hit them and then they went back to kissing.
Get wrecked.
This mob tried to use our killing platform against us.
I found that really quite rude, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Harsh, yeah.
Spent ages building that.
And for some reason, this one was taking ages to die.
I know. So many arrows we took.
Even ruder, he then went and toyed with the killing platform. Easy.
Day 10 to day 14, we spent collecting the resources we needed to build a house. Let's queue up a build montage. Okay, it's been an hour.
We can't do it.
Do you know how hard it is to do a build montage? YouTube is difficult. Here is the finished product on day 14.
We think the house is... We're going to improve it when we've got more blocks, probably be in episode 2. Probably bring the roof down, put a bit more 3D structure on the side, glass in the windows. We'll have to see. After
the house build, we thought we'd get back to breaking some blocks. A monster party started, and we were ready. Alright, we weren't ready. We immediately died. We did get given a recovery kit though, which was cool. We had a pickaxe, a sword, a torch, and some blocks. That was nice of them.
On resurrection, we speedily headed back to fight them with a pickaxe, but turned out they'd suffered the same fate as us.
After that absolute disaster, we decided we needed to put water going off the edge of the platform, so if we fall off again in future, we can hopefully jump into the water and come back up. Problem was, we only had 1 source block of water, so we found a little trick to turn 1 source block of water into 2.
If you want a tutorial on this, we've made a video on it. The link will be in the description.
It's really easy to do. All you need is a source block of water, some bone meal, and some dirt.
And with these 2 source water blocks, you can make infinite water, and then you have infinite water.
Then we added the best safety feature known to man. A waterfall.
Then we went back to speed mining. Until this creature spawned, which Rick absolutely hated. But our half-slab construction was a bit too much for him, so he kind of just danced around there for a bit. Until he finally worked his way down that half a step, and then killed it.
After that, I just sort of pushed him back into a spot, and then we went back to mining.
His fighting post.
Speed mining.
Speed mining.
Now, we edit out most of the mining. You do get quite a lot of chests, but they normally don't really contain anything good.
This one at least had iron in it, which was good.
A little bit of bone meal too. So it was back to mining.
Speed mining.
And then this spawned in, which I thought was an enemy, so I went back, got my shield up.
Armed yourself.
Yeah. Turns out it was Morty 2 or Morty 3, so we tamed him.
It was a best friend assistant.
So I went back to mining, and then this fella spawned. I'm getting a bit better at killing these guys now, so it wasn't that difficult. I did think I'll push him over to Rick, because he fought the fox, but just wasn't interested in this guy. So I killed him, stole his iron helmet. We needed some armour, so it was all good. I did take an arrow to the head, though, which despawned as soon as we looked at it.
Had a tasty melon. We spent the rest of day 15 mining, all the way into day 16. Then another chest fell in love with us. This one had bone meal, ice, bones, and a sapling.
A pretty good chest, I think. And that was it, after we smashed this one.
That was the end of phase 3. So we went to prepare for the next phase, whatever it may hold.
We thought it was best to stock up on wood and tools and harvest the farms.
So we harvested our whole tree farm. And it is phase 4, ocean. Strange creatures lurk in the endless deep water.
I'm hoping for a dolphin. This phase consisted of mainly sand and blocks you'd find underwater. We realised pretty quickly that it probably was going to spawn some fish and some marine life, so we went ahead and raised the area around the blocks slightly, put some water in to hopefully catch anything that comes through.
After building the first marine life safety net, we thought, why not build a second one? It would act as a better place to put them once we have saved them.
We then got our first turtle, who we called Mr. Nimbus, and Mr. Nimbus 2.
Right, no questions asked. It was an absolutely great idea to put water around the magical block, apart from sponges. Sponges which suck up all the water again and again.
We did get our first diamond though.
No fishies yet, but we did spawn some squid, which this was not enough water for, so they started dying very slowly of natural causes.
Then our first fish spawned in, a salmon. Cue fish catching montage. Okay, pause montage, mobs are spawning.
We were scared, but these guys were super easy. They absolutely loved the killing platform, straight off the edge. And again. Now we were super scared of this guy, but they absolutely loved it as well. Didn't even get mining fatigue. What a win.
Resume montage. And then Monster Party Take 2 started. We didn't do so bad this time, the killing platform worked quite well. This mob took party a bit too seriously. We didn't call for a landscaper, but this guy came in and just ripped up our farm. We got him in the end though. And we had little melon to celebrate.
Excuse me, sir. The party's over. It's time to leave. I said it's time to leave.
So it was time for some quick repairs and then back to mining.
We mined a mob. This one brought all of their tridents and tridented us out of existence. And we got our second of 3 recovery kits. On resurrection, revenge was sought, and it was sweet.
The rest of day 18 was spent speed mining, saving the turtles and saving the fish.
Speed mining. We broke away from mining the block to beautify the edges of our base and expand the fish pond. Got to give your fish enough space, everyone.
Then this absolute monster spawned and we were in for it. Alright, no, okay, cool.
Back to mining, and we got a musical box. What's in it? Pig step, yes, the best one.
After breaking some more blocks, we got another benevolent gift, which contained buckets of fish and a trident. Nice. And with that, the phase was over.
And it is Phase 5, Jungle Dungeon. Hidden by ancient trees and covered in vines lies a dungeon.
With that phase over, we decided to pause on the block breaking for a little while. We wanted to build a mob grinder. This would help us level up and collect unlimited loot. The bone meal would come in handy, and we'll get the occasional iron ingot, which would be super useful. As you'll see, it did not go well. Anyway, we spent days 20 and 21 collecting wood.
We wanted to build it out behind our tree farm, so we built a platform out because mob grinders are really noisy. Skyblock is great for building mob grinders because basically there's no other land for them to spawn on, so you make one dark area and all the mobs spawn there.
You can see the platform's working already. We've not even built it yet. This creeper exploding was probably the best thing that happened to us between day 21 and 35.
After they were dealt with, it was time for some speed building.
Oh, bedtime. And some people say on our Twitch we're not very good at the game.
And that was also our final recovery kit.
Hello there.
And it's finished.
Or so we thought.
That water running out of the spawner is a problem. So what we need to do now is get back to the spawner and block that water off. So begins 5 days of hell.
The mob spawner worked too well, we just couldn't get back, they just kept on spawning. So we decided to block it off and try building up and over and going in at the top and try and fixing the problem there.
So we came back the next day and they were even spawning on the bridge. We had a look inside and it turns out the whole thing was full of water.
We fixed up the bottom, the thing's still full of water. You don't really ever want your audio description of your mob grinder to say splashing.
It was time to enter the grinder.
FBI, open up!
Uh-oh. Fire in the hole.
It went about as well as you'd expect.
We found the erroneous water supply and problem solved.
So there we go, a working Skyblock mob grinder.
That was an absolute nightmare.
I know, but it's so worth it with all the stuff we can get.
Just look at this, so much XP.
I know, finally works.
Was that a creeper?
Oh, it's ruined, forget it.
How would you feel about blocking it off and pretending it never happened?
Excellent idea. So from day 20 to day 35, we farmed wheat and nothing else happened.
That's what we call rage quitting. After 11 days of solidly farming wheat, this strange path appeared coming from our base, so we blocked it off.
We will not be taking any questions about the path.
To calm down, we started building a big circular aquarium under our base.
It'll be a nice home for the fish, and next time there's a monster party, if we do fall through the floor, we'll fall into the aquarium rather than into the void.
And that took us to day 35. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you want to see a part 2, please let us know.
Bye!